Jiggy Jag TV. Back, I almost said it. That's amazing. Jiggy Jag TV, Hard Rock Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. I can't believe I almost said Community Access Television Salina Inc. Okay, and there's a story behind that. I'll get another threat of a lawsuit later once they see this. And we have got, as I always like to tell people, the biggest star in the business. Don't believe him, just ask him. Dick Dangle, how are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. It is very nice to meet you in person, finally.
Yes. So, first of all, how'd you get the gimmick? I got to know the whole Dick Dangle. There's got to be a story.
There is. You know the story where your porn name is the first pet you had.
You did the whole porn movie?
But and the first street you lived on is your last name, and mine would have been Cassidy Crawford. Didn't really go for what I was aiming at.
Sounds like an enhancement talent for WWE. It sounds like Braun Strowman's smashing him on Raw.
Right, yeah, exactly. And that's not going to work. And I decided I want something that is a little bit more like action hero-ish, like Indiana Jones. I'm like, the first thing I popped in my head was just like, Dick Dangle, like that has purpose, and it just stuck.
Yeah.
And I was telling people, they're like, go with it.
On hats, t-shirts,
exactly. Yeah. So
lunchboxes.
All right. Yeah. But yeah,
that's awesome.
Everyone has really taken to the name, and
I do like the first name though, but I instantly thought of he's the guy at back in the '80s with WWE where they introduced him, and he waves his hand, and they introduced the Ultimate Warrior.
Right. Yeah. I'm the guy pulling on the ropes before I get murdered. Right. Yeah. Yes. Oh, yeah. I get that.
So, talk to me about this whole rise to prominence. You've interviewed everybody you can think of. You're like you are one of the few guys that I know that understands social media. Break all this down for me.
I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, you know what? I got in with a group of friends that had their own podcast, and I ran this idea by them of just, I think this could be something. And they said, well, let's give it a shot. Let's record a few. And they said, yeah, you know what? This could really turn into something. And I had a good crew of people that started with me, Champagne Dan, Webman Greg, the stepfather, who's on some of my shows still from show one to this
awesome.
one. Yeah.
They've all got wrestling gimmicks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more of the professional wrestlingization of America.
Right. And yeah, we should all have the luchador masks on.
Everybody should have masks. Everybody's hitting each other with chairs.
Right. Putting through tables.
Yes.
And a friend said, well, why don't you try to get in to one of the local gentlemen's clubs to do interviews when the talent comes into town.
Oh.
And I said, yeah, you know what? Let's give it a shot. Yeah. And we found a club that was really receptive to it. And just through that, now I've been podcasting for 5 years, but I've been going to conventions for 12. This is my AVN 2008 was my first. But I gained such a reputation as just a nice guy and a good fan and someone that supports the industry that when I started interviewing people, they said, well, yeah, let's interview and let's hang out. And now I'm able to, when people come into town, they come to my home studio, we go to dinner. It's a whole thing. So
this is fantastic.
And it's all honestly just me being me. Though my name is Dick Dangle, I'm not a gimmick. I'm just a regular guy that supports the industry that he loves.
Well, when we started doing, as I used to call them, featured dancer interviews for Jiggy Jag TV, we'd find strip clubs that were bringing in the featured dancers. I would go. I learned years and years ago, and see with you've figured out a way around all the shenanigans. But years ago,
right?
I would go to the strip club, and I'd say, hey, we want to do this. They're like, nope, not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I just started going to the PR people, and the PR people would set it up.
Yeah.
And then we would go do the thing. And there was a guy one time that told me, he's like, here's the deal. He goes, the PR people want to get their clients publicity.
Right.
And he says, these clubs, they don't give a fuck if you get your interview.
But it's weird. Because clubs are always looking for positive advertising.
See, this is another thing. I started getting band interviews with different bars, and that was the whole thing, was they were like, we want the publicity and everything. So
Yeah.
this is amazing. Just
Yeah.
some of the things. And what's great about, you were mentioning your home studio. I did the same thing. My living room is my radio studio.
Oh, okay.
And and we have when bands or rappers or whatever come to town, they come and they do the deal.
Yeah.
So, and I've had a few porn people that will feature dance in like Wichita, Kansas, and they'll just drive over to Hutch because it's half hour away. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
And they'll come do the radio show. So
Yeah.
this is fantastic that you've got the whole. It's like we're kindred spirits.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Oh, wait, you're better dressed than me. But
please.
but
If I wore that, I'd be dying right now.
as I like to say all day, I'm just the idiot in the pink suit.
That's right.
So getting all this together, who are some of the more interesting folks you've dealt with?
Oh my goodness. Some of the more interesting, there is a dominatrix based in Pittsburgh, but she does travel throughout the U.S. Her name is Irene Boss. She was an amazing interview and just a powerful personality.
Your name is your destiny. Meet Dominatrix Irene Boss.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, Romy Rain has just been an unbelievable interview. Maddie O'Reilly has been incredible.
Wow.
I've interviewed probably 100 plus adult entertainers, and then probably another 30 or 40 people kind of on the fringe like Dominatrix. Yeah. And I can honestly say, out of the countless number of interviews I've done, I probably only had 3 that I couldn't use. That,
really?
There was an issue, and it was, I don't want to hurt anybody's careers. Yeah. But most of them, even if they were shy, I have found that showing true interest in who they are as a person, as much as a performer, that guard can come down. Truly, for the people that treat adult entertainers just, I'm going to smack them and I'm going to tell them that I love their private parts for their work. Don't do that. When you show respect, you're going to get that respect.
All these marks.